Hello my dear students. In this lecture, I will discuss about destructive operations. These operations are performed in the case of dead fetus, where the fetus is stuck inside the birth canal due to its huge size, and in order to deliver the dead fetus vaginally, destructive operations are performed to decrease the size of the fetus so that fetus can easily deliver through the vagina. So first of all, its definition. The destructive operations are designed to diminish or to reduce the bulk, that is, the size and the mass of the fetus, so as to facilitate easy delivery through the birth canal. These destructive operations are basically performed to reduce the size or the mass of the fetus so that fetus can easily deliver through the birth canal. These procedures are actually difficult and may be dangerous too. So performing these operations, there must be an operator who is sufficiently skilled. Next are the types of destructive operations. There are mainly 4 types of destructive operations, that is craniotomy, decapitation, evisceration and cleidotomy. So if the fetal head is too large that it is unable to deliver through the birth canal, in that case a hole or the incision is made on the fetal head so as to remove the brain contents so that fetus can easily deliver through the birth canal. Next is decapitation. In this case, the fetal head is separated from the fetal trunk. Next is evisceration. In this case, the contents from the abdominal and the thoracic cavity is removed, and it is mainly done in the case of fetal ascites. Next is cleidotomy. In this case, in order to reduce the shoulder girth, either the one or both the clavicles are cut down so that fetus can easily deliver through the birth canal. Next, I am going to discuss all these types one by one in detail. So starting with the first one, that is craniotomy. In the case of craniotomy, it is clear from its name, that is the word cranio indicates cranium. That means a skull, and tomy means a hole. A hole is made on the cranium. Its definition is, it is an operation to make a perforation or hole on the fetal head in order to evacuate or remove the brain contents, after which or followed by extraction or the removal of the fetus from the birth canal. Next are its indications, that is in which cases basically the craniotomy is performed. First one is cephalic presentation. So when the presenting part of the fetus is head, plus there is an obstructed labor. The labor is obstructed due to the huge size or the big size of the fetal head with dead fetus. So in the case of dead fetus, when the labor is obstructed plus the fetus is having cephalic presentation, in that case a hole is made on the fetal head and remove the brain contents. As a result, the fetal head can easily deliver through the birth canal. The next indication is hydrocephalus. It is a condition when excessive cerebrospinal fluid is accumulated inside the ventricles. As a result, the size of the fetal head is larger from the normal. So in order to deliver the large size fetal head, the craniotomy is performed. And the third one is interlocking head of twins, as you can see here in the diagram. So in order to deliver the twins with interlocked head, the craniotomy is performed. Next are the conditions to be fulfilled, or the conditions which are required for performing the craniotomy. First one is cervix must be fully dilated, plus the baby must be dead. Next are the contraindications of craniotomy, that is in which cases the craniotomy should not be done. First one is contracted pelvis, and second one is rupture of uterus. As in both cases, the caesarean section is preferred. Next is the procedure of craniotomy. So first of all, the operation is to be done under general anesthesia. Sites of perforation, or the sites where the hole is to be made. In the case of vertex presentation, the perforation or hole is to be made on the parietal bone, on any side of sagittal suture. This is a sagittal suture, and these are parietal bones in red color. Next is in the case of face presentation, the hole is to be made on orbit or through the orbit. What is orbit? This is the cavity of the skull where the eye is situated, or the hard palate. What is hard palate? This is the roof of oral cavity, as you can see here in the diagram. This is a hard palate. So while in the case of brow presentation, the hole is to be made through frontal bones, frontal bone of any side. And the instrument which is used in the case of craniotomy is known as Odum's perforator. This is the diagram of Odum's perforator. Now moving towards the procedure. In this procedure, the two fingers are introduced into the vagina, that is the index finger and the middle finger, and the fingertip should be placed at the proposed site of perforation or the site where the cut is to be made, and then the Odum's perforator is inserted or introduced into the vagina, which is guarded by the fingers in order to protect the maternal tissues from injury, and then ask the assistant to put pressure on the fundal area, and by using the second hand by the operator with the rotating movements create a hole on the fetal head. And after that, open the Odum's perforator like this. It is open 2.5 cm in order to enlarge the hole. And after that, close the Odum's perforator and rotate it at 90 degree. And then again open it 2.5 cm and enlarge the hole. And the enlarged hole is appeared like a cross. And after that, by closing the Odum's perforator, remove it, but fingers should be remained inside the vagina, and then with the help of these fingers, the brain matter should be removed. I hope you all are clear with the procedure of craniotomy. The next type under destructive operations is decapitation. The meaning of decapitation is separation of head from the trunk. Its definition: it is a destructive operation in which or whereby the fetal head is cut or severed from the trunk. So in this case, the fetal head is separated from the fetal trunk and the delivery is completed with the extraction or expulsion of both, that is the trunk and that of decapitated or separated head through vagina. Now, what are the indications of decapitation? That is, in which cases basically the decapitation is performed. So first of all, neglected shoulder presentation. This is the diagram of neglected shoulder presentation, in which the presenting part is shoulder and the shoulder is impacted or stuck inside the birth canal with prolapsed arm. That is, the arm is present first in the way. Plus, if the fetus is dead and the neck is easily accessible, in that case decapitation is performed. And the next indication is again interlocking head of twins. So next is the procedure of decapitation. For performing the decapitation, the instrument which is specifically used for this operation, that is known as decapitation hook with knife. This is the diagram of that instrument. And this part is basically known as a hook. Before performing this procedure, the general anesthesia should be administered. And as in this case, the arm is prolapsed, then grab the arm and tie a roller gaze around the wrist and then give a gentle traction or pull the arm gently to the side opposite to the head of the fetus so that neck will be more accessible. And then insert or introduce the two fingers into the vagina, that is the index finger and the middle finger of the left hand, and the tip of the finger should be placed over the superior side of the neck, which is the proposed site for decapitation. And then the decapitation hook is introduced. Let's assume this as a decapitation hook. And the palmar side of the hand should be downward. And then introduce the decapitation hook with the guidance of fingers. And then push this hook over the neck and then rotate it so that this hook will be placed around the neck, and meanwhile these fingers should be placed under the neck in order to guide the tip of the hook. And then with the upward and downward movement of this decapitation hook, the vertebral column is separated. And for removing the decapitation hook, move this decapitation hook backward and rotate it back, and then again with the guidance of fingers, remove it. And the tissues which are left intact, those are separated with the help of embryotomy scissor. When the fetal head is completely separated from the fetal trunk, then deliver the fetal trunk first by giving the traction on the arm, and then deliver the fetal head either with the use of forceps or by putting the finger into the mouth of the fetus, and then with the help of traction the fetal head will be born. The third type of destructive operations, that is evisceration. Its definition: the operation consists in removal of thoracic and abdominal contents step by step or piecemeal through and opening on the thoracic or abdominal cavity at the most accessible site. So the hole should be made at most accessible site, either on thoracic cavity or on abdominal cavity, but the contents should be removed from both the cavities, that is from thoracic and abdominal cavity. Now there are the indications of evisceration, that is in which cases basically the evisceration is performed. First one is neglected shoulder presentation. When the presenting part is shoulder and the shoulders are impacted or stuck and the fetus is dead but the neck is not accessible, in that case a hole should be made either on the thoracic or on the abdominal cavity. Next indication is fetal malformations. First one is fetal ascites, when the free fluid is accumulated in the abdomen. And second one is hugely distended or enlarged bladder. So in the case of fetus, why the bladder become enlarged? That is when there is a lower urinary tract obstruction, due to which when the fetus is unable to pass urine, in that case the bladder become distended, and in that case the evisceration is performed so as to deliver the fetus easily through the birth canal. The next type of destructive operations is cleidotomy. Its definition: the operation consists of reduction or decrease in the bulk, that is the size or the mass of the shoulder girdle, by division or by cutting of one or both the clavicles. This is the diagram of cleidotomy, and these are the clavicles in blue color. So cleidotomy is performed in order to reduce the basicromial diameter. What is the basicromial diameter? It is the distance between the outermost part of both the shoulders, so that the fetus can easily deliver through the birth canal. And here one word is given: shoulder girdle. The shoulder girdle is consist of two types of bones. One is clavicle and second one is scapula. It actually helps to connect the upper extremities with the axis of the body. Now what are its indications? Dead fetus, the fetus should be dead and with shoulder dystocia. What is shoulder dystocia? When the shoulders are impacted or stuck inside the birth canal. In that case the cleidotomy should be performed. Next is post-operative care after the destructive operations. So after performing the destructive operation, explore the uterovaginal canal in order to find out any left or retained products of conception inside the uterus, as it might lead to PPH, that is postpartum hemorrhage. So that's why exploration of the uterovaginal canal must be done. Next is catheterization should be done, especially after the craniotomy, for the period of 3 to 5 days or until the bladder tone is regained. As before performing the destructive operation, the general anesthesia is given, which leads to post-operative urinary retention. It is a condition when the patient is unable to pass urine. So it will take some time to regain the bladder tone. That's why catheterization should be done. Next is start dextrosaline drip. in order to correct the dehydration. Next is blood transfusion should be done if required. And last one is ceftriaxone 1 gram IV infusion should be given 2 times in a day in order to prevent any infection. Next are the complications of destructive operations. Under this, first one is injury to the uterovaginal canal. So the instruments which are used during the destructive operations, it might cause injury to the maternal tissues. Next complication is rupture of uterus. So while performing the destructive operation, so with the instrument, there are the chances of traumatic rupture of uterus. Next is PPH, that is postpartum hemorrhage. If any product of conception is retained or left inside the uterus, it might cause PPH as the uterus become atonic, means unable to contract. Or if any injury occurs to the maternal tissues with the instrument which is used during the destructive operations. Next is there are the chances of shock due to the blood loss or dehydration plus peripheral sepsis or infection. So while performing these kind of operations, there are the chances of infection also. Next is subinvolution, when the uterus is unable to revert back to its normal size. And it might also occur due to the retained products of conception. That's all about destructive operations. My dear students, I hope you all are clear with this topic, but still if you have any kind of query, then please ask me in the comment section. I will definitely answer your queries.